my name is Erica, and today, as you can see, I have a bit of a different setup. Have you all ever seen the videos where actors react to their most searched questions on the internet? Have you ever seen those? I decided that I'm going to be doing that, but for characters from the GRISHAVERSE. I randomly thought of this yesterday when I was at work. I was super bored and I was on the computer just Googling stuff, and then some funny questions came up and I was like, it'd be so funny to do a video answering these questions or reacting to what people think and all of that. What the most searched questions are on characters from the GRISHAVERSE. So that is what I'm going to be doing today. Let's just get right into it. Alright, our first culprit of the day is going to be BREKKER because I could not resist Googling him first. And look at my cute Kaz candle, if you can see it very well, my Kaz bookmark. Oh, so beautiful. Alright, let's see what the web's most searched questions are on BREKKER. Alright, here we are. Is BREKKER, and let's see what we get. Okay, so if you haven't read these books, I recommend maybe not watching this video just because you may be spoiled or anything. Here we are. The first one, some of them are pretty basic, but some of them are not quite so basic. The first one is BREKKER in Shadow and Bone book? And I will be answering this. That's a pretty basic question. BREKKER is not in Shadow and Bone. He is back in Ketterdam just living his life with the Crow Club at that time. Or, I'm trying to even think of what year that would be. So it's been happens 3 years before. But, no, BREKKER is not in Shadow and Bone. But he is in the show Shadow and Bone, so you should definitely check out the show. The next one is BREKKER in Rule of Wolves? I just started that book, so I have no idea, but he is mentioned a few times, especially also in King of Scars, because we do have Nina in the book, so she talks about her friends a lot, which is always very heartwarming because I love those characters and I love when she mentions them. Is BREKKER a bad guy? How do we answer this? BREKKER, it's so funny because I remember Six of Crows is really one of the first books where it's these characters are very morally gray. It's not he's the bad guy, she's the good guy. It's not like that. It's we're rooting for these characters because they are better than the villains in the story. And what they're doing is for the greater good. And BREKKER, I would not say he's a bad... I'd say BREKKER believes in the greater good. He's not the Darkling, but he is not always the best. He doesn't make the best decisions, but he does deep down have a very big heart. You just have to be the right person. Basically, you have to be Inej to meet those expectations of having him feel something for you, to care enough. He has a hard time, he's had a rough past. I wouldn't know if I would call him a bad guy. I mean, he's not a good guy. I definitely would say he's in the middle. Alright, the next one is... Oh my gosh, is BREKKER a virgin? You know what? I have to say yes. I mean, right? Because he had one moment with another girl and he couldn't go through with it because of his past. So I'd have to say BREKKER is a virgin, which is not a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. Saving himself for the one who matters. That's you, Inej. This is such a funny question. People Google the funniest stuff. Okay, our next one is BREKKER a villain? We already answered that. Is BREKKER in the Shadow and Bone trilogy? We already got that. Is BREKKER in Siege and Storm? No. Is BREKKER a sociopath? Ooh, interesting. Can be a little wild. I don't know how to answer that one. Those are pretty much the only ones. My favorite one was definitely, is BREKKER a virgin? 2, who should we do next? Is Inej Grisha? That is a negative. She's not Grisha. Is Inej Indian? The person who plays Inej, Amita Suman, I love you so much if you ever see this video. She is South Asian. And the next we have is Inej Bai. I don't believe so. I believe Inej is heterosexual, but I don't really know how to answer that. Is Inej in Shadow and Bone? She is not in the books, but definitely in the TV show. Again, Amita, you're my hero. How tall is Inej? I have no idea. Amita is 5'6", so I can honestly see Inej being that because she's small and lean, and yeah, I definitely feel that'd be the perfect height for Inej. What ethnicity is Inej? Inej is Suli in the books, and she's just beautiful. Amita is beautiful. She's just perfect. I love her so much. Okay, they did like the perfect casting for Inej. I was so nervous they weren't going to cast someone good for Inej, but Amita is the perfect Inej. I cannot picture anyone else because she's done such an amazing job and she's perfect for the role. It's just, because I was so scared because Inej is my favorite character and I was like, if they ruin this, I would not be able to bear it. The next one we're going to do is Nina. I love Nina so much. Okay, is Nina Zenik bi? Yes, she is. I mean, I don't know if they call it that in that world, but she does like men and women, so yes. Is Nina plus size? I mean, yes, she embraces it, and I love her so much for that. She's not afraid. I hate that authors don't really write plus-size characters. I think Nina's such a great character because I think so many people can relate to her and like her love for waffles. Is Nina Zenik in Shadow and Bone? Not in the books, but she's definitely in the TV show, of course. Is Nina Zenik good? I mean, yes, I think Nina Zenik can be considered good, despite what others might think. Is Nina Zenik pansexual? Ooh, that's a good one. I mean, like I said, she likes men and women. I'm not sure if they have like those types of details in that world, obviously, but I definitely think, I mean, she goes off personality more than anything, so I can see it. Is Nina Zenik a crow? Yes, she is a crow. She's part of the dregs. Perfect. And next is Nina Zenik in Rule of Wolves. Yes, she is. She is in Rule of Wolves. Is Nina Zenik pregnant? I mean, I haven't finished Rule of Wolves, and I would assume no. Crazy. Wonder why, like, if you haven't read the books, like, why would people Google that? Would they Google it because, like, of the show? Like, why would someone Google, is Nina pregnant? Okay, let's see what is next. Let's do someone. Okay, next we're gonna do Jesper, and this is gonna be funny. I mean, not that funny. Okay, let's see what these people ask. Is Jesper in Siege and Storm? No, he's not. None of the Crow's characters are in Siege and Storm. Is Jesper gay in the books? I believe that Jesper is bi, but I'm not sure. But yes, he is gay in the books. Is Jesper a Grisha? Do I want to spoil it? Yes, he is a Grisha. If you have not read the series, like I said, don't watch this video. He is a Grisha. He's a fabricator. He always kept it a secret because he doesn't feel like it should matter, and his father did not let him to share it. Alright, the next one. Is Jesper in King of Scars? No, but he is mentioned, I believe, and there's a very important character in there that is linked to Jesper, which is really beautiful. I definitely had tears in my eyes when I read that part after, because I forgot. Next one. Is Jesper in love with Kaz? I honestly think that a part of Jesper has always had feelings for Kaz, maybe not quite like he felt obviously for Wylan or somebody else, but I think part of him has always kind of liked Kaz a little bit in that way, even though he's known like he could never obviously, but I feel like it's part of me, I mean, maybe it's just part of their friendship. I feel like a part of Jesper has always really loved Kaz, but not in a really romantic way, but just in a really like, I care about you, you are basically my brother type of way, so I feel like that's really what their love is. I don't think he's in love with Kaz. Maybe at the beginning, maybe he thought like he was, but he realized like they're so good as friends, obviously, and Kaz is like not really about that. But I don't know, I just feel like a part of Jesper is always just kind of wanted Kaz to see him as more than what he is. Is Jesper in Six of Crows gay? You already answered this. Is Jesper gay in Shadow and Bone book? He's not in the Shadow and Bone book, but he's still gay. Is Jesper gay in Shadow and Bone? These people are very interested in Jesper being gay. Next one we have, is Jesper mixed? Yes, Jesper is biracial. His mother was Zemeni, and his father, I believe, is Kalish. Right? I think that's right. And is Jesper in the Shadow and Bone book? No. Alright, that was pretty easy. Let's go on to who do we have to do next week. Let's do Wylan. Is Wylan... Okay, I only had to type Wylan. It seems like not a lot of people's names are Wylan that you can Google. Alright, here we are. Is Wylan in King of Scars? No. Is Wylan in Shadow and Bone? No. Is Wylan in Shadow and Bone show? No, not yet. Is Wylan Kuwait? Well, kind of. I love that. Is Wylan Kuwait? Or is Kuwait Wylan? Is Wylan Vanek What? Is Wylan Vanek dyslexia? Why would they word it like that? Is Wylan illiterate? Is Wylan and Jesper in King of Scars? Well, Wylan cannot read, so I'm assuming it's dyslexia that keeps him from doing it, but he can't put words together really at all, so I don't know. And Wylan and Jesper are not in King of Scars, but they are mentioned again. Okay, there aren't really a lot on Matthias, but we have, is Matthias Helvar really dead? Okay, yes, he's really dead. Is Matthias Helvar death? Is Matthias Helvar death? He is death itself. Duh. Does Matthias Helvar die? How tall is Matthias Helvar? I have no idea, actually. Do they say he's, I mean, they say he's tall. Like, probably like 6'7", 6'8". He's probably a tall guy. 6'6", around there. Tall, I don't know. Tall, everything's tall to me, I'm short. How old is Matthias Helvar? Oh, he's like, what did they mention, like 19, 20? He's pretty young. He's like the same age as the dregs. Probably a little older because he's a little put together compared to them. But those are the only ones that we have for Matthias. Is Alina half Shu in the books? So we never get Alina's race really in the books. We do get that she has like light brown hair. And I think being Shu in the books is never a big deal. That's something I need to talk about in my review. But I love Jessie May Lee as Alina. Like, I cannot picture any other Alina. She's perfect for the role. And I really love that she's half Shu, and I think it's so beautiful. But I really don't understand the concept of bringing, like, why is the Shu Han the enemy? I get that, like, in the books the Shu don't really like Grisha. Like, they don't really like Grisha in that they would like do signs on them, and like obviously they invented Param and all of that, but I just don't really get why they are such a huge enemy currently. Like, they're not the ones fighting in the war, so I don't really get like all of that. But anyway, next is Alina in Six of Crows. No, she is not. Is Alina Starkov a saint? Yes, she's a sun summoner and she is Sancta Alina. Is Alina in King of Scars? No, not really, but she's mentioned. And I love that. I love when she's mentioned. And she's mentioned even in an even more detailed way once you read Rune and Rising. You just like, no. Okay, is Alina immortal? So, I don't think Alina is immortal, especially after Rune and Rising, but Grisha do live a long time, and she's a very strong Grisha, so she will probably live for a very long time, but I don't think she'd be immortal. Is Alina in Rule of Wolves? I'm guessing no. But I haven't finished it. Is Alina related to the Darkling? I mean, we did have a fear after reading Rune and Rising, but that would be weird. Is Alina the only sun summoner? I mean, once you read Rune and Rising, you'll know this. Next, is Alina in Six of Crows? No. Alright, those are all of Alina's questions. I feel like I just keep moving this chair and it's not really working. Okay. Is the Darkling... These are all pretty much the same. I really thought these were going to be more exciting. Okay, is the Darkling evil? Yes. Is the Darkling immortal? Again, no. He's not really immortal, but I mean, basically he is because he's so strong and he's been able to just kind of pretend to die and then live again, but he's never died. But he's just a really powerful Grisha, so basically, because he's so powerful, he just can live a really long life. Is the Darkling really evil? So not just evil, is the Darkling really evil? Or is the Darkling really evil? I'm gonna say yes. Is the Darkling actually dead? Ooh. Kind of. Is he though? Who knows? Is the Darkling an amplifier? Yes, he is! He's an amplifier. He can help other Grisha become stronger, and just like he helped Alina become stronger. Is the Darkling a saint? Well, we like to have some people say he is the starless one, but I don't. Is the Darkling in Shadow and Bone evil? The people, I think, really want to love Ben Barnes, and they really don't want to not like him because he's just very attractive in the show. I mean, you know, but I mean, I don't. But people really just don't want the Darkling to be evil. They really just want to root for him. But I mean, y'all can root for him even though he's evil. Is the Darkling actually evil? Y'all, he is. Is the Darkling abusive? I'd say yes. He's very manipulative, arrogant, and just takes advantage of people, especially poor Alina, who was whirled into his trap and fell in love with him, kind of. And Zoya, poor Zoya. Oh, he's so abusive. He took out an entire city with his darkness. Terrible. We're gonna keep looking. Kaz and Inej. Okay, we're gonna look. I put in do Kaz and. So let's see what we get. Do Kaz and Inej end up together? Kind of. Do Kaz and Inej kiss? Do Kaz and Alina meet in the books? I like that people are like asking these questions. They probably just really want to know, but Kaz and Alina do not meet in the books at all, but I do like that they meet in the show. I think it's really clever. Do Kaz and Inej kiss in Crooked Kingdom? Kaz and Inej are not very touchy people. I think Inej wants him more than Kaz does, but no, there are no kissings in Crooked Kingdom. Do Kaz and Inej get married? Man, people really just like want the future for these characters. I mean, as do I, but you know. Do Kaz and Inej ever get together? Do Kaz and Inej touch? I am dead. Like, that's how greatly Verdugo writes their characters and like how accurate they're portrayed also in the show, is that even touch is just such a beautiful thing, and it's like, it's so rare for them that people have to Google and ask it, because like, do Kaz and Inej do anything together besides just like yearn for one another? They do touch very briefly. Do Kaz and Alina meet? No, but I think it'd be more fun if they had in the books, but it's fine. We get all the beautiful moments in the show. Do Kaz and Inej kiss in the books? I think it's so funny. This is so funny that everyone just wants Kaz and Inej to kiss, and like, once you read the books, like, you know, like, that's not what they're really, that's just not them. Do Kaz and Nikolai meet? Do they meet? Or is it Sturmhond? They do meet. And it's a beautiful moment. I love them meeting so much. I love it. It's one of my favorite moments in Crooked Kingdom. I had not read the Grisha trilogy before I read Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom my first time. When I met those characters when they came in, like Genya and Zoya and Sturmhond, I was like not as connected to them. The second time I read it after I read the Grisha trilogy, like, I was in tears. I was so excited to see them again, and I was like, I know who you are now, and it was just such a special moment. Okay, I think that is it. That is me reacting and answering the web's most searched questions on the GRISHAVERSE characters. I thought this would be a little more exciting, but I did have a lot of fun with this, and I think I will continue this series for other videos eventually. But I had a lot of fun with this video. I am glad that I decided to do this. I think it's really cute and clever, and I think it's funny to see what people are searching about these characters. And that is all I have for you today. If you like this video, be sure to give it a nice little thumbs up. If you want to keep following me on this booktube journey, please subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ErikaAGobble. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you soon with another video. Bye!